Welcome to my top 10 strategy games in space. Because sometimes here on Earth it can get a little boring, so it's time to look at the stars. So let's just fly straight into number 10. Extinction Eclipse is a strategy game where the aliens decided to build a hexagon grid in front of the sun to make sure that our climate is going to be ruined. We've tried to communicate with them, but it didn't work, so now we choose to fight them. The game is split into different missions, and on each mission you're going to be building your tower station, but mostly different types of ships, like cruisers, fighters, miners, and etc. And there are different goals for each mission. Sometimes you have to eliminate enemy forces, sometimes you just have to defend a station or build a certain amount of different ships. In between combats, you will be able to get sort of permanent upgrades or enhancements for your ships. 9. XO. XO is a real-time strategy game with pawns inspired by FTL. You start off with a single ship with no weapons, but don't worry, there will still be combat. And your job is to round up the 5 factions and save humanity. Now you're going to be moving around, you're going to be completing different kind of missions like helping refugees or you blowing people up, saving people, whatever you want, and you're going to be trying to get more and more ships into your fleets. But you have to manage your resources because the more ships you have, the more difficult it will be to handle them all. You will also have to navigate different politics between the different factions. It's a really interesting game. There's quite a lot to it. You can upgrade your ships, you can trade items, manufacture weapons, you're gonna be repairing, of course. And the game is still in early access. I played it like 2 years ago and I quite enjoyed it back then. 8. Starcom Nexus. Starcom Nexus is a game where you're going to be controlling your very own ship and you're going to be exploring the space. So of course it has to go into this list. And you're trying to be fighting and befriending aliens, and you will try to transform your ship into something to fear. There's a huge amount of different technologies that you can research. You're going to be able to design your ships so using a modular construction system. You're going to be doing talking, trading, fulfilling different missions. The combat is played in real time. And it's all about exploring the mysterious open world of Starcom Nexus. 7. Relic Space. Relic Space is a quite interesting game in space. It's a turn-based roguelike RPG, but it has some 4X elements as well. You're going to be a starship pilot and you're going to be fighting other enemies. The goal of the game is to gain victory points either in the direction of military or economy. The game also has some very interesting mechanic with regards to overheating, weight system, or movement. Specifically with movement, if you move and then attack, you will get an evasion bonus because the idea is that it's harder for the enemy to hit you because you just move. Also, another interesting thing are the upgrades. You have upgrades for your pilot that are split into different categories. For example, you might be able to gain a point in maneuvering, which will allow you to maneuver around, or you might get enough points in combat, which allow you to attack better. So you can get this kind of an upgrade. And another interesting thing about the movement is that you can move in a straight line easily, but if you want to turn, it's more difficult for the ship, so you can't fully turn 180 unless you get a specific ability. 6. Cosmoteer. Cosmoteer is a pretty amazing game. This is a game where you design and simulate your very own starship, and then you will command it in these huge battles with other enemies. You'll also be managing your crew and just exploring the galaxy. Now, I played this game a very long time ago, about 3 years ago, but recently in 2022 it came out on Steam into early access, and it's looking amazing. It's just so good. I love the, you can even get fleets, so you can have multiple small ships, or you can have one huge one with really big weapons, and it's such a fun game. It's incredible. 5. Shadow Empire. Shadow Empire is a deep turn-based 4X war game. Yeah, already that genre system sounds amazing. But the best thing about this game is that you begin it by designing your own planet on which you'll be playing. So you can pick from different resources. You can pick the history of the planet. You can pick the climate, and that part is absolutely amazing because it will very much determine how you play the game. Once you are on the game, you will be exploring the planet, you will be handling your military, so you will be fighting against the other aliens and people on this planet, and or maybe wild animals and etc. And you will be building your different buildings, handling your economy. You're going to have a bunch of different counselors that you're going to be sort of assigning to different things. You'll be handling diplomacy, just all sorts of amazing things. There is also a huge technology tree, so there's just a lot of stuff. You're going to have to be handling supply chains for your soldiers to make sure they don't run out of ammo, handle logistical network capabilities. It's like an incredibly deep game. There's like so much stuff going on there, and it's just pretty amazing. 4. Imagine Earth. So Imagine Earth, this is a sci-fi strategy sim. We're going to be colonizing different planets. So you'll be moving to planets, you'll be harvesting resources, and you will be building your very own cities and populating these planets. You will have to handle different threats like tornadoes and other climate situations, and you'll also be handling allies or enemies. So there will be other people building their own cities on the planet, and you'll have to kind of coexist and trade with the nation and handle hostile colonies, and you'll be fighting off raiders and pirates. And it's a really fun game. I played like about 8 or so episodes when it was still in early access about 3 years ago, but actually last year it came out into full release. 3. Chaos Galaxy 2. It's another turn-based war game slash 4X strategy game slash grand strategy game. Are you noticing a theme? Because I am. And this game is very fun. So essentially, you're going to be picking one of your 12 factions, and at the beginning, you're going to be mostly fighting out with other factions, but eventually alien comes, and the aliens are super, super difficult to kill. So it's like, don't spend too much time messing around with other factions, because once the aliens come, you're going to die like super quickly. But this is such a fun game. You're going to be having your different sort of fleets and different ships, and you will be trying to take control of other planets so that you can have more planets, because the more planets you have, the more resources you can get to build more stuff. But also you will be trying to stop all the aliens from killing essentially everybody on their path. I'm going to be studying different technologies. And what's really cool about this game is that you're going to have these heroes that each control like a fleet of ships essentially. You can actually combine attacks. So the way this works is that if you have one unit that will attack one hero that will attack another hero with their own fleets, you can have your second hero come in maybe, and how quickly he comes in depends on how far away he is. So if he has too many sort of like turns or tiles away, he will come maybe in turn 3 or 4. Now, in the combat itself, there's obviously flanking, attacking from behind, all of this good stuff, but there's a huge focus in supply. Because there's also morale, so if you can get the enemy morale to 0, they will just run away. This is a pretty huge part of the game. But the biggest focus here is on supply, because you can run out of supplies and then you're just dead in the water. So supply ships are absolutely huge in this game. I actually have a few guides for this game as well, so if you're interested in this one, you can check those out as well. 2. Terra Invicta. Terra Invicta is a game. It's a 4X strategy game, grand strategy war game. Yeah, here we go again. And this is a game where there's an alien invasion. And the aliens come to Earth. And you are representing a faction that wants to deal with the aliens a certain way. So you could be a faction that's like humanity first, we just want to murder them. Could be an action that I played, which is the servants, which means we just want to do whatever the aliens want. Or you can be anything in between. And your job as a faction at the beginning of the game is going to be to try to influence the different nations and try to get them to sort of see your way. You're going to be trying to gain these points in them that will essentially mean that they will be sending you money and different resources so that you as a faction will become strong. And once you become strong enough, you will be able to build your ships and orbital stations, and you will expand across the solar system, and you will be fighting the enemy in tactical combat. The game is played in real time. And in order to get the influence over the other countries, you're going to be sending counselors, and they'll be doing like spying missions, and they're going to be trying to get influence over the nation. They might do a coup in the nation to try to stop someone else's influence, and etc. And there's just a lot of different things that you can do. Let's go. It's time for number 1. Distant Worlds 2. Distant World 2 is another grand strategy for a strategy game, and it's played in possible real time. And you're going to be playing as one of these alien races, and you're going to be trying to take control of the world. So you will be colonizing different planets, you will be building your own ships, you will be sort of picking different components to put on your ship and swapping out different weapons as you sort of upgrade them up. You will be having miners that are going to be moving around sort of mining different resources, and you will be fighting all sort of enemies and killing them all and making sure that you take control of their stuff. There will also be some like monsters and you can sort of build and expand your empire. You will be handling diplomacy. There will be a lot of pirates trying to attack you. Sometimes you actually have to pay them so they leave you alone because they can be really hard to fight, and you will be exploring the star system. And it's just I enjoyed this game quite a bit. I had a lot of fun with this one. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you like this channel, don't forget to subscribe because it really helps. Thank you.